If you do not want to change, if you do not want to better yourself, if you do not want to break outside of this matrix, if you want to live in your comfortable delusion that they have built for you, do not watch these videos. Leave this channel.
Because when I step to the game, I rip that shit apart. My evolution with the Gyarados and magic carpet, and I ain't finished shopping till the whole world is in my cart. When you fucking with me, you choose a role and play your part.
Something that's outside of your own mind and accept others' minds and opinions and the way they think for themselves. You do not belong.
I'm trying as hard as I can against all of the odds, pushing as hard as I could is what got me so far.
Be positive, if you are not trying to help create solutions while we discuss the problems and how they got here, you do not belong here. Negativity, hate, disrespect, name calling, those things will not be allowed here on this platform, and not in this platform. We are the ones, the true Americans, that want to be free and stand as we have always stood.
My lines burn like blunts getting smoked in the dark.
Hey, we in the
if your ass wanna spar, barbecue your beef up like the seats in my car. Cool yourself off refrigerator jar. Baby rappers be not like this, not an art. Huh? You forgot about that part. Lady rappers been acting like this is not an art.
Hey.
You forgot about that part.
Hey, what's up, guys? You never know when we gonna start, when we gonna end. You just never know. Thank you for being here, my friends. Look, the homie is back. We finna get back into the business. You know we gotta put in some overtime. A matter of fact, shout out to the people that went to work today and the people that do overtime. You guys make the world go round and do work nobody else wants to do. Now the people that haven't been working, you know, hey man, let's get it together. Let's get it together, okay? Y'all need to get y'all shit together, okay? Look, get it together. I'm gonna need y'all to understand that, look, if you don't put in work, then like, come on, bro. Like, what are you doing with your life, right? All right, anyways, I think I want to jump into it. I started a little bit early today. I was an early bird. I want to try to get as many minutes out of this as possible. You know what I mean? Shout out to the people that come. Shout out to the new subs. I noticed we got some subs. I don't really like to look at numbers or anything like that. But shout out to everybody that comes through. You know what I mean? You guys are appreciated. I'm honestly doing all this work right now for you guys. I'm doing this work for the society because I'm listening to the debates. I'm listening to all of your grievances. I'm really listening, guys. And this is what I was good at in school. So I was just nerding out, coming up with ways to change math and fix things and whatnot. Terrence Howard type shit, you know what I'm saying? How they be talking, but you know, at first things look different. At first things look more like, okay, fine, let me kind of stay away from that because I don't know if it's gonna work. But if you're the one in there doing the work and doing the thought process, you can see something that other people aren't looking at. And the only way to bring them is to actually walk them through it and walk them down the path, to actually have them understand what you're saying. So that's why sometimes it might be difficult to understand what we're talking about, but I can't just stop and go back every 5 seconds to try to cover some shit from a different episode because it lags the progress. So that's why I jump right in as if you guys know what I'm talking about. And I know it's tough. I know it's tough. My bad. But I can't recap every detail from every episode. But all the details from the past episodes we keep. This is something that's beautiful because we allow ourselves to progress as the show goes through. All right. So if you don't understand something on this episode, right, and you're watching it for the first time, you're viewing it, it's okay. Just stick with us through the end, and you'll start to catch up and catch on. Because I will have the AI explain and reference. I'll have the people that have been around. I'll explain and reference, and then they know, so they'll be able to talk to you guys about it in the chat. And what I want to do is I don't want to run the chat. I want you guys to run the chat ultimately. I want you guys to have conversations with each other about this topic, about the subject in the chat. I want the chat available for debate. So you guys can debate what I'm talking about in the chat, and I'll read what you guys are debating about, and I'll make my comments, right? Like, ha ha ha, like we're all having a conversation. But you guys are meant to interact with each other in the chat, and I'm just kind of watching, and I'm kind of just throwing in my taking what you guys are saying. Okay, fine. You know what? That's good. Real quick, hold on. Let me go ahead and throw that in there with the AIO. And what about this? One of the guys in the chat, blah blah blah, because the AI is already prompted, already knows that we're on a show and we're live. Okay, so it knows about TOS and all these other things. So it's not allowed to say things, but I want you guys to run the chat. The chat is for the debate side. So whatever we're talking about, whatever I'm talking about, you guys can actually the conversation, and I can read what you guys are saying, and then I can better situate the plan, right? And that's the thing about it. This is a nerd area. I'm sorry, guys. It's like a nerd area, and I'm expecting all the smarty artsy nerds to catch on and come out the woodworks and start either asking questions or inputting or trying to defeat it, because that's what I'm looking for right now. I want somebody to try to defeat my argument so I can actually tighten it up, because what I'm doing is I'm building something. So I need to make sure that when somebody's saying, oh, that can't work, I'm like, okay, well, why? Why can't that work? Oh, because of this. Okay, well, fine. Then maybe if I did this right here and then all the rest of that could keep going, that wouldn't be affected? Or should that be affected? Depending on how beneficial it is to the people. See what I mean? Because there is a layer of corruption that's trying to maintain control. So this is something we have to keep into consideration. And, I definitely want you guys to be able to feel like your input is wanted. It is, especially if you're trying to help build, or if you're seeing a hole that I'm missing that we need to plug, then that's helpful. And that's what I'm saying. And if you guys want to go back and forth in the chat debating it, oh, that won't work because it is da. I will be looking, and I will be making sure I take those things into consideration when I'm putting this plan together. That's why I always say we, because you guys in the chat are a part of this, because I'm doing this for you. So any of the things that are on your mind that are bothering you, that you think we need to change, that are legitimate, like not some old bullshit, but like some legitimate shit, of course, we about to do that. I still got to pick out my other 5 points. I haven't gotten there yet, but this point right here, the Homestead and Naturalization Act, this one is for Beth. Beth requested this one. So it's time for us to handle that request. Yes, I do take problem requests. Okay, I do. And it's cool because that's what I'm doing this for. This is me building my brand, showing you how to do it. If you want to learn how to do it, it's called critical thinking. And that's what I am. I'm a critical thinker. And like they say, the idea guy. Like some people just can't come up with ideas, but I can't stop. I don't know what it is. And that's just the difference. Some people can't stop coming up with new ideas and new ways, and people get so tired of new shit because it's like the things they know aren't good enough, and it starts to have to be comparisons and things like that, and people don't want to have to compare. Okay, and then they're losing their certainty because the knowledge they've accumulated isn't up to par, and now there's some new knowledge to gain, so that will throw some curveballs in there. But yeah, the first thing I do when I come on, I come through, try to level up with you guys and talk a little shit so we can loosen up our minds and shit, remind ourselves that not every panel is the same, and not all content is negative or dramatic. And we can still have fun while we're doing this thinking smart T stuff. You know what I'm saying? So Hell yeah. Miles in the building. In the building. What up, Miles? What is good? You guys already know. I was just letting all the new people know that, hey, the chat is for you guys for debate, and you guys can debate what we're talking about, things like that. And that's where I'm reading it, I'm watching it, trying to do my best to keep up on it. But I'm listening to you guys, so that way I can make the plan better. You know what I mean? So especially if you guys are like, because the chat is yours, you guys could talk to each other, hang out, and any kind of issues that pop up in the chat, I'll probably pop it up on the screen and be like, you know what, that's a good idea. Let's go ahead and fix that. And yes, I am taking requests for issues. The one we're doing now, this is Beth's request, the homestead and agricultural naturalization. She brought up farmers and all the struggles with the GMOs and the food. And I said, all right, bet, we're taking care of that. So that's why we're doing this one. Healthcare is next. And then after healthcare, we're going to take care of immigration. And then we have 5 more that we're going to do. So we're going to, this is what? This is week 8. Okay, so this is a 10-week plan. So one plan per week. It's a 10-point plan, 1 point per week. So we can go detailed. We got 5 days. I sharpen it up over the weekend, make a paper, and I drop it for you guys. And that's like our baseline. But things can be tweaked here and there along the way, But that's where we're at. And this one, it's coming along so good. We did so much work. We generated over 800,000 jobs. Just that's on like an average, on the low average, 800,000 jobs generated so far by this bill. It's crazy. What? I know. And the numbers are true. They track and everything. This is what's crazy, bro, because it's just like, is this really happening? You know what I mean? Like us coming up with a plan. It's wild, man. I mean, I don't know why people don't get a feeling for doing good. Like, this is so cool. All glory to God. He gave me the wisdom. You feel me? Yeah. We in the building. That's what I'm talking about. Hell yeah. We're working on it. We are working on it. And then I'm going to put the package together, the 10-point plan. It's going to be probably a zip file with 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 files. Yep. It's probably going to be like that. And then I'll have one file at the top. It's called the summary. So I'm building this for America. I love you guys. You guys are my best friends, my best people. We live together. This is our culture. I got y'all backs. I don't care. I don't want no beef. I don't want no fighting, none of that. Look, it's a real thing, because if we can figure out a way to have this community and be nice, right? Or like get along and be profitable, prosperous. These are the things that I'm really looking forward to. This is very important for us. Now, I don't know why, but I never can see the Rumble chat. It never pops up. I'll definitely check the Rumble side. I would have to get like another screen open or a device to monitor it, but I don't know. I figured Rumble, you guys are just gonna take care of yourselves, because that y'all pretty much solo dolo. So for all my peeps out there that are watching from Rumble, hell yeah, salute. I seen it. All the peeps out there watching from YouTube, bang bang. You know what I'm saying? If you one of my peoples, hit the chat. I get you your wrench. Other than that, we about to get this cracking in a second. Damn, I need more fluid on this bitch already. Ain't that a bitch? All right, fuck it. I'll get that in a second. All right, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this real quick. Give me 1 second. I will actually do this. Oh shit! Oh, I'm fucking up. Already. Got my shit falling off the desk. Like, what? Okay, all right. Disregard that right there. Hold up. All right, my bad. I'm over here fucking up because my shit was perfect a second ago. I touched one fucking button and everything fucking fell over. Bastard. Hell yeah. All right, so we're gonna finish this one up. I hope once I show it to Beth, you know what I mean, she likes it. This one is the problem she said needs to be solved, and we're gonna go ahead and solve it. All right. We're gonna see what Claude says about this organization right now. We found our job number. We're still trying to find out the bill's total number that it's going to cost, because we do have to have that number, but we needed to figure out how many jobs it was going to generate, how much money was going to be coming back, all the tax revenue that's going to be coming back as well, so the numbers are accurate, and how the ripple effects are. So right now we're still in the top 50 ripple effects, because we want to make sure we're pulling out all the information that we can get for the jobs section, and we're going to take that information, we're going to repackage it, throw it into our formula, and finish building out our big formula. I know this sounds so nerdy, but once we get that part done, everything's going to be more simple. All right. And then we'll just be able to have the conversation, because we already have the rules, regulations, and all the numbers. And this is the long part and the boring part. So if you guys watch back or anything like that, or take it in pieces, I don't mind. It's okay. This is some super nerdy shit that we're about to get into right now. And the fact that we have AI right now, that we can just, this makes it so much smoother. Because just think about how many think tanks and different people with all these degrees you would have to collaborate like this. And when you have AI, you really got all of them right here in the palm of your face. Boom, da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I like AI. It's replacing all these dudes with degrees. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right hard into this. We're gonna go ahead. We got the paper. Actually, I'll pull it up right now. It's on my Google Drive. Hold on, let me pull that shit up for you guys so you can see it. I can actually pull it up on the screen. I'm not sharing this one. I'm just gonna pull it up for the sake of looking at it, and you guys can see what we have so far, basically. All right, so this one is still private, but we can view it. All right, so I'm about to pull it up right now and share screen. Google Drive, boom, bam. All right, here we go. This is the Formula 2. All right, the Formula 2. Y'all see it? Formula 2. Hold on, here we go. Bam. All right, this is the Formula 2. This is what we have right now. This is what we're testing. We wrote some shit out. We came up with a formula on yesterday's episode. It's awesome. It actually works with real world numbers, and you can actually take job statistics and put it in here. This is a formula. It's really cool, and it works with real numbers. And it's been tested. We dropped this into the AI, Claude, but this is just the formula part. This is our 10 points down here. This was the conversation. I put in our 10 points. The AI was talking about it. I asked it to give me more information and tell me what holes we need to fix and where we need to go, which ones we need to concentrate on. And we still have to do like 7. So that's good, because we got 1 through 3, and that's basically the legs, because how many jobs it affects, the people, the food, the seeds, the GMO products, and the preservatives. We're about to get into that stuff today, most likely. So this is going to be really cool. We do have it on paper. This is just what we're going over, the formula, everything like that. And we're going to actually continue to build this forward. It's not a bill yet. It's not a complete proposal. We're still lacking plenty of data, but it's going to be a great conversation. And you guys own the chat. So just make sure you guys are, yo, what's up? Entwine in the building. Being some smartsy stuff. Yeah, you know what it is. Sometimes we gotta, exactly.
Come to the dark side.
Just sometimes, but not all the time. Right now, we're trying to do good stuff. Trying to help America right now. Hell yeah, you already know. And that was very fun. It was very fun. And it went kind of crazy. I made a video, and I had to cut ties with some people, but look, I ain't got nothing but love for everybody, and I just want everybody to prosper, but we cannot let them hold us back and stop us from doing shit. because we're real thinkers. We're the new. You know how they have think tanks. This is what I'm doing here. I'm pulling together whoever wants to really think and put together like a team to actually come up with solutions. Because most people are like, oh, we could debate, but the debate's not getting us anything done. It's just like, oh, these people are more right. You know what I mean? So that's where we're at, and we're about to turn this up. So we're gonna. I already put this. Claude is about. He's chewing on this right now. All right, these are our sites right here. We put them down so that way you guys can hit the articles and the links and stuff. That's what happens when I put the Google Drive and I make it public. This one's not finished, so I'm not making it public. I'm just pulling this up for viewer purposes to show you how much detail we're trying to do our best to put into this. And yes, I have to read over it, read through it. It's a lot of work. It's like a second job, but I love doing this shit. It's so fun. I don't know. I'm a nerd. So you guys want to nerd out with me? Hell yeah, it's time. All right. So I think the part that we're gonna have to get into is I was really looking at the mandatory K through 12 agricultural education program. I really want to tackle that one because there's a lot of nuance in there. Anybody that has any information or any questions they want to drop in the chat. In the chat, you guys run the chat. I mean, that's for you guys to talk to each other. You could say statements, what you agree with, what you don't agree with, how it won't work, or what about this law, things like that. And I'm literally just gonna listen to y'all conversation. I'm gonna hear the grievances. I'm gonna hear all the issues, and I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna make a note, and I'll even, hey, Claude, hold on. I'm looking at the chat. I was talking to the panel, blah blah blah, whatever, and then we'll run it because the best part about having AI right now is the fact that it can store the information and it can have the information in the front right here ready for you to interact with. And that's so amazing. And that's really hard to do when you're talking with people, professors and stuff. We can get sidetracked and go off into tangents and start having fun and playing. And that's okay. You know, sometimes you need a break, but we can get off track. And that's why I like AI. It's like it's on track all the time. It has to keep bringing you back to the business. So, all right, you had the time to analyze, Claude. Let's go. Let's see what is the next part. Did any of the numbers that we brought back with our update, the formula, is any of this missing information? And that's what we need to get to. How does this relate to our other 10 points? Because I do have a feeling some of these are getting squished and some of them may just need to be in the same point and it might get crunched down into like 7 point plan, unless each point is only referencing the other points in their full solidity.
Good news, the formulas hold up, your ag employment base, your acreage figures, all of it checks out against the real federal data I found. But there is one real gap. The document flags that the 1.805% draw rate has been generating job totals for several of the points, but it never actually names which specific sector figures, like nursery employment or food processing employment, get multiplied by that rate for each point. That's the missing piece before this is fully auditable. On the squishing question, here's how I'd read it. Points 4, 5, 8, 9, and 10 already don't carry independent jobs figures by design. They're legal shields or cross-references. So those were never really separate economic pillars. They're policy language riding alongside the numbered points. If you wanted to crunch this down, those 5 are the natural candidates to fold into the points they already reference, rather than standing alone. That could genuinely take you from 10 points to something closer to 5 that carry real weight, plus supporting language underneath them. Want me to lay out what a 5 or 7 point consolidated structure would actually look like?
That is a very interesting notion. So what we'll do here in this situation, we're going to hold that 5 point reserve. We're going to hold that as a reserve. Okay. And then each section that would reference point 1 or 5 or whatever its point reference, we will call those references uh, forward to the front and we'll actually fix those and then we'll see what policy changes will be needed for the other slots. And then if we can get the actual base and skeleton bones for our main 5 points out of our 10, the other 5 points reference those 5. So we could just tighten up the main 5 points with our other ones and the law and data behind it, and we'll figure out what systems we have in place that could be used to benefit it. So we'll start with giving us the 5 points that are the main structure, and then the other 5 points that are referencing those 5 points after.
That's a clean way to structure it. 5 load-bearing points with real numbers, 5 reference points that hang policy language off them. Let me lay that out. Your 5 main structural points, the ones carrying actual jobs and revenue figures, are Point 1, ecosystem and tree restoration. Point 2, federal land stewardship and harvest operations, your anchor. Point 3, cottage food deregulation. And then 2 more would need to be pulled up from your remaining source sector additions, likely the distribution and equipment manufacturing cluster, and the second tier source sectors like forestry science and insurance, since those are the ones with real standalone numbers behind them. Your 5 reference points hanging off those would be seed sovereignty referencing back to Point 1's land protections, GMO labeling also referencing Point 1,
Okay, good.
pesticide reform folding into Point 2,
Okay, cool.
K through 12 education
We're pulling
folding
up all
into
the
Point
data,
2,
guys.
and then medicinal plants, carbon capture and cost of living would need to get consolidated together as one combined reference point, since none of those 3 carry independent figures on their own.
Shit we're working with.
Want me to go point by
trying
point
to-
and nail down exactly which of the 5 main pillars each reference point attaches to?
That's exactly where we're headed to next. But let's keep you guys filled in so this guy's not just running his mouth. All right, what's up? Hey, shout out to Crown in the chat. You guys know the chat belongs to you, you feel me? All right, so if there's anything y'all want to say, y'all can always say it. If there's anything y'all want to point out that you notice, the AI sparks idea in your head or whatever, if I do, go ahead and just hit the chat, you know what I mean? And we're going to keep building this out right now. But we're basically, we already found the jobs, we found the numbers, we have our baseline. And each one of these jobs is going to be a minimum of $50,000 in their salary range. So it's going to be one of those kind of things where this generates many jobs that are going to be, livable wages. And it's going to be in every state because each state has its community. Okay. And the companies involved are going to be held to a stewardship program. So that way, they're not doing that corporate extraction stuff. And this protects everybody. So that's the whole point. All right. That's why we built the stewardship first. We had to tackle money. And now that we have a actual system that takes care of that portion, we can actually protect ourselves further. Okay. Now we have these roadblocks in our structure, and we're about to build on it. This is good stuff. All right, so I'm loving it so far. Let's go ahead and get the numbers that we still need from our 5 points, and then go ahead and list our other 5 points and the ones they reference to. We're going to do that because this is where we're going to get our, the really strong anchor, the really strong bones, and it's going to really fill in. It's really going to fill in. But let's go ahead and start with the points we haven't checked for job yet.
Right, let's get real numbers on the 2 structural pillars we haven't sourced independently yet, the distribution and equipment cluster, and the second tier sector group. Good, that confirms the 200,000 figure we already had for ag machinery manufacturing. These are already sourced numbers from earlier episodes. This just verifies they hold up. Let's fold this into the consolidated structure now. All right, both pillars check out against the numbers we had. So here's your 5 main structural points, the anchors. Point 1, ecosystem and tree restoration. No independent figure but feeds the whole system. Point 2, land stewardship, wildfire mitigation and harvest operations. Your biggest anchor at around 241,000 jobs. Point 3, cottage food, 40,000 job equivalents. Point 4, distribution and equipment, meaning transport, warehousing and ag machinery manufacturing, at about 123,000 jobs. Point 5, the sourced sector cluster, forestry science, beekeeping, insurance and recreation and tourism, at about 21,000 jobs. Now your 5 reference points hanging off those anchors. Seed sovereignty references point 1 since it's a land and growing rights protection. GMO labelling also references point 1 as a consumer transparency layer on the same growing system. Pesticide and preservative reform references point 2 since it shares the same regulatory and inspection workforce. K through 12 agricultural education also references point 2 since its instructor jobs are already counted there. And then medicinal plants, carbon capture, and cost of living relief bundled together as one combined reference point since none of the 3 carry independent numbers, and they all describe downstream effects of the other 4 points rather than new economic activity. That's your 5 and 5.
Okay, so let's pull the first 5, the 5 core. Let's get the numbers and everything behind them, and then we'll go ahead and list out the references that reference to those points so we could solidify. So we'll start with the first point that needs numbers, and then the point that references to it, that's the point we're gonna fix. So that section will be completed. If we want to start in order, that's fine, because unless point 1 is already done, then we need to make sure point 2 is done. If point 2 is already done, then we can do point 3. But I'm not sure if we ever finished our top 50 list of industries that would be affected in this downhill trickle. So that's where we were really at, because that's where all of our data is coming from. And if we utilize our formula and complete that 50 list, it might fill out the rest of this, and we'll find the policy along the way.
That makes sense. The top 50 list is really the master source feeding all 5 pillars, so let's treat it as the backbone. Point 1 and 2 are already fully sourced from before.
Good.
Let's pick up the list where we left off. We had about 10 sectors sourced, plus the drone number from last time. So let's keep pushing toward 50. Good, 2 more solid real numbers. Telecom overall sits at 672,000 workers nationally, with a huge projected growth wave from rural broadband build-out, and veterinary and animal care workers total about 596,000 nationally. Let's run both through the formula. That adds another roughly 23,000 jobs, pushing your running total to about 875,000. Rural broadband and veterinary and livestock services both check out as real sourced sectors, sitting comfortably under your second reference point cluster, since they support the land stewardship and homesteading infrastructure rather than standing alone. That's 2 more off the top 50 list. Want to keep pulling sectors, or pause here and lock in where the 5 core pillars stand with this update folded in?
We had 20 yesterday, and we need our next 30. So, and they should be different.
Right, you want 30 genuinely new ones, not overlap with the 20 we already have. Let me pull a fresh batch across areas we haven't touched yet, things like construction, legal services, and education staffing that support this whole system. This is a big list to build out properly with real sourced numbers for all 30, and doing it well means several more search rounds, 1 topic at a time. So I don't rush the data. Let me get through a solid first chunk, then check in with you before pushing further. I'm hitting a wall on several of these. Environmental attorneys and ag faculty specifically don't have a clean single national headcount number, just job posting counts, which isn't the same as real BLS employment data. Rather than force weak numbers into a list of 30, let me be straight with you on where we stand. Realistically, finding 30 genuinely new, cleanly sourced sectors in one sitting isn't happening. A good chunk of what's left on your radar
let me just do it this way, so that way we can shorten it up a little bit for you. Now, we need to just get the 30 list of the sectors that would be affected, and that's all I need right now. Just give me 30 different areas that will be affected, and then we can just figure out the numbers by using the equation. The equation will be fine, and we only need the actual sector and the equation for the jobs that are either listed or the ones that are out there. Companies have employees, we can do our averages, and that's fine. That will hold.
Got it. Just the list of 30 affected sectors first. We run the equation against each one after. Since that's a straightforward numbered list, it'll actually read out cleanly. Let me give it to you now. 1. Rural broadband and telecom infrastructure. 2. Veterinary and livestock health services. 3. State park and ranger staffing. 4. Agricultural extension offices. 5. University, agricultural faculty and research staff. 6. Environmental and land use legal services.
Okay, good.
7.
We're listing all
Construction
the
crews for
sectors that
storage
will be
facilities
affected.
and access
We're
roads.
getting somewhere.
8. Skilled trade certification and
Top
licensing
50.
bodies. 9.
This is what's
Data
generating
infrastructure
jobs,
and
guys.
cloud storage, supporting satellite and drone survey systems. 10. Drone and GIS aerial survey operations. 11. Food safety inspection services. 12. Agricultural equipment repair and maintenance. 13. Seed bank and germplasm storage facilities. 14. Irrigation systems installation and maintenance. 15. Soil testing and agronomy consulting. 16. Farmers market and local food distribution logistics. 17. Cold storage and refrigerated warehousing. 18. Rural housing construction for incoming workers. 19. Agricultural insurance underwriting, beyond what we already counted. 20. Composting and organic waste management. 21. Beekeeping and pollinator services, expanded beyond or existing figure. 22. Farm-to-table restaurant and culinary supply chains. 23. Agricultural machinery operator training programs.
These are all the jobs we're
24.
affecting with this
Rural
shit.
healthcare clinic staffing. 25.
They're going to need to
County
expand
fair
all
and
of those
agricultural
sectors, all
exhibition
of them.
management. 26. Water rights and resource management administration. 27. Native and heirloom seed cultivation specialists.
Ooh, look at all these
28.
jobs. Ooh,
Agritourism and farm stay
we
hospitality.
building we making
29.
jobs, baby. What?
Biomass
Let's go.
and agricultural waste energy conversion. And 30. Rural postal and package delivery logistics supporting farm to consumer sales. That's your 30. Want me
Don't
to start
worry.
running the equation against these one by one next? Or pause here so you can review the list first?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely reviewing this list right now. We're affecting some pretty awesome sectors. This is opening up people that have BAs and everything like that. This is our proposal. You got to remember, guys, there's not a lot of channels doing this. I appreciate you guys for coming. I know this nerdy stuff scares people away, change, and it won't work. And I get it, man. But I'm trying to make it sound so good and look so good. You feel me? All right, Miles. I'm trying to make it sound so good and look so good and actually do what it's supposed to with mechanics behind it that ensure its success. Whew. Only thing I haven't did was sit down and write my own plan out. No, I've done it. Okay. I'm actually living out pretty much what I wanted to do. It just sucks that the people you expect to be in your life later, they're just not there. That's the thing that sucks, but people come and go. And we all know that, right? So that's why we have to figure out how to secure ourselves. And this is one way to do that. This right here, this is good shit. And we're going to keep pushing. All right. So I was looking at them. I'm looking at them. And I need you to flag the ones that you already mentioned, that we already have mentioned. I need you to flag those because we need to replace those. It sounded like a couple of them were re-mentioned, unless you didn't count these jobs from those selected sectors.
Good catch. Let me flag the overlaps against what we've already sourced and counted in prior episodes. Number 2, veterinary and livestock health services, already counted. We sourced and added that one just before this list. Number 19, agricultural insurance underwriting, already counted. Our second tier sourced cluster included insurance already. Number 21, beekeeping and pollinator services, already counted. Same cluster, beekeeping was already in there. Number 10, drone and GIS aerial survey, already counted. We sourced that 2 exchanges ago at around 120,000 jobs.
Yep.
So that's 4 repeats, 2, 10, 19, and 21. Want me to swap in 4 fresh replacements to get you back to a clean 30 new ones?
Absolutely. And then we can start testing the first 5 with our formula.
Good, let's get 4 fresh replacements in, then run the formula on the first 5. Replacing number 2 with rural electric cooperative and grid maintenance staffing. Replacing number 10 with agricultural credit and rural lending services. Replacing number 19 with wildlife and pest management services beyond what's in point 2's regulatory workforce.
Pest control.
And replacing number 21 with grain and commodity storage elevator operations. That gives you a clean 30, no repeats. Now let's test the first 5 real numbers. Farm credit lending doesn't have a clean single national headcount, just scattered company level numbers. So I'll flag that one honestly rather than force it. But electric cooperative and grid staffing is strong. Real reports peg it at around 611,000 to 623,000 supported jobs nationally.
Okay.
Let's use 611,000 as the conservative figure. 2 down. Rural electric cooperative and grid maintenance gives you about 11,000 new jobs, solid and real. Agricultural credit and lending, though, I have to flag the same way we did medicinal plants. No clean national headcount exists.
That's fine.
Just scattered individual company numbers, so no invented figure there. It stays as policy language only. Want me to keep pushing through sectors 3, 4, and 5 now? State park rangers, extension offices, and university ag faculty.
Actually, I want you to take those scattered company numbers, average them, find the median, like we did, to actually find the number that we could test, and go ahead and do that with the information that you have. If you can gather other sources, that would be genuine, and then we can find numbers that we could actually hold in the equation as a median estimate.
That's a fair approach. If the scattered numbers are real company reported figures, we can build a defensible median estimate rather than tossing the sector out entirely. Let me pull a few more real company level numbers to build a proper sample. Good, actually, this gives us something usable. We have a genuinely strong top line number here. Rather than needing a shaky median farmcredit.com itself, the umbrella organization states the whole farm credit system employs over 17,000 people nationwide directly. That's actually a clean sourced system-wide total, not scattered branch numbers. Let's just use that one. Turns out we didn't even need a median. The umbrella organization itself reports the clean national total, 17,000 employees across the whole farm credit system. That's real and defensible, though the actual jobs contribution is small, just over 300, since the base sector itself is modest in size. So sectors 1 and 3 combined add about 11,300 new jobs. Want me to keep going with Sector 4, wildlife and pest management, and Sector 5, grain and commodity storage elevator operations to round out the first 5?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's push forward, and then we're going to come up with our total at the end. And then when it comes to those sectors, think about state by state, because you have to account for each state, including Alaska, Hawaii, all these different states. They have water, ocean, boats. And I don't know if you're actually factoring that in, but just make sure you're doing that as well, because these outliers are going to be some of those generators, because even if that's 500 jobs, another 500 will add up. That's 1,000. And that adds up to our total.
Good point. National totals should already reflect every state, including Alaska and Hawaii, since BLS aggregates all 50. So the outliers are baked into the numbers we're pulling, not missing from them. Let's keep pushing on sectors 4 and 5 now. Both real numbers now. Pest and wildlife control workers sit at about 144,000 nationally per current industry data.
Okay,
and grain elevator workers come in at about 30,600. Let's run both through the formula. All 5 of the first batch are done and sourced. Rural electric cooperative work added about 11,000 jobs. Farm credit lending added around 300. Wildlife and pest management added about 2,600. And grain elevator operations added about 550. Combined, that first 5 adds roughly 14,500 new jobs, pushing your grand total across the whole act to approximately 889,000. We're closing in on that million mark. Want to keep pushing through the next 5 on the list, or pause here to let this settle?
All right, cool. All right, good. We're headed in the right direction. Now, we already tackled those 5. Let's go ahead and move to the next 5, and let's see what we got. Let's use our same premises and formulas from before for the first 5. And update
Both
the
real,
formula.
clean numbers.
Yeah, and update the formula. But go ahead and repeat that. But I need you to update the formula. So this is our base formula we use for every sector.
What update did you have in mind for the formula? Right now our base is new jobs equals existing sector employment times the draw rate, and the draw rate is 398,963 divided by 22.1 million. If you want a different denominator, a different draw rate, or an added variable, tell me what to change and I'll rebuild the formula and rerun the sectors we just pulled through it.
Go ahead and repeat your statement before this, and then I'll let you know.
Sure, state park rangers and cooperative extension agents both have real clean national numbers now. National Park Service rangers are down to under 1,200 nationally, and cooperative extension staff sit at about 13,188 nationwide as of 2024. That's the 2 new sectors sourced. And on the formula, our current base is new jobs equals existing sector employment times the draw rate, where the draw rate is 398,963 divided by 22.1 million, about 1.805%. Let me know what you want changed on it.
I just want us to lock it in that when we are searching in the sectors, we are getting a medium or an average for whatever is reported. If there is no total numbers reported. So just grab all the numbers, total them up. We can grab a medium, but we have to include all 50 states. That's what I want to add to the formula. So that way we always have a base number that we can plug in so we can count for jobs and the growth, because those sectors would have to grow and cover all of their state as far as all of the acreage there. And that's what's very important here. And all those agencies have to monitor all the people that are going to get into it, all the new entrepreneurs and the tax people, and all the really look at the downstream, because there is some bigger implications for this.
Got it, that's a real formula addition. When a sector has no single clean national total, we don't skip it or force one number. We gather every reported figure we can find across sources and states, total or average them into a median estimate, and that becomes our plug-in number, always built to reflect coverage across all 50 states. That's locked in. So now the formula has a built-in fallback. Whenever we hit a sector with no single clean national total, like the farm credit situation, instead of flagging it as too thin, we gather every credible number we can find across sources and states, take
Now
the
we're
median
building
or sum,
formulas.
and that
Remember, we
becomes
have
the
to
input
keep
we run
things
through
going,
the same
guys.
draw rate.
New stuff
That
every
covers
day.
your
Let's
50
go.
state concern too, since we're actively pulling from sources that report state by state, rather than settling for one convenient headline number.
We're doing it.
Want me to go back and apply this update to point 8, medicinal plants, and the other sectors we previously flagged as too thin, now that we have this fallback rule?
Absolutely. And that's the whole point. So we can get all the data we can get that will back us up with everything we're doing. We're going to make sure we look at laws and policies, and we have to make sure we include the idea that taxes, job creation, and $25 an hour is the minimum wage as well, based everything on stewardship, so there's no extraction. It's all kept at that 25%. These are things we have to keep in mind all the way through our formula, because if we're not calculating these numbers properly, then we're gonna get blown up.
That's the whole game. If the numbers don't hold up under scrutiny, none of this survives contact with real opposition.
We're building some.
Let's apply the
equations.
median
Let's go.
fallback to medicinal plants right now, since that's been sitting flagged the longest. Now we've got real numbers to work with, several credible reported figures for the dietary
perfect,
supplement and herbal
perfect,
products industry.
perfect.
Let's build the median per the new rule. Point 8. Medicinal plants no longer sits empty. Using the median of the credible figures we found,
Okay.
the direct employment study, the full direct plus indirect study, and a more conservative direct-only estimate,
Okay.
the median lands at 615,000 existing workers in that space, which converts to about 11,000 new jobs under our draw rate. That pushes your grand total past the 900,000 mark, sitting at roughly 900,447 jobs. Point 8 now has
We
a real
almost did
defensible
it.
number behind it instead of being left blank. And it's built exactly the way you wanted, gathered from multiple real reports rather than one convenient headline figure. That's a strong milestone to land on. Want to keep applying this median rule to the other previously flagged sectors, or pause here since we just crossed 900,000?
We're gonna go ahead and apply it to the remaining flag sectors, get those out the way, and then we're gonna have a recount because we have 50 total, and we needed to just make sure we're knocking them down one by one, getting these numbers counted in, so we have something that is substantially cited that they cannot argue with. And if they run the numbers using our formula with any of these plugged in numbers, they would get a certain rate, and we're going to come up with a percentage and a ratio at the end of this. That's what's going to be so amazing about this. We're creating
Right, let's clean
an
up every remaining
environmental
flag so nothing's left
formula.
blank. That
Yes,
leaves drone.
guys. And you guys have helped us too. Thanks for being here, for real.
And GIS aerial survey, which we already have a real figure for, plus the ones we haven't fully resolved, Edge faculty, environmental legal services, and construction and infrastructure for storage and access roads. Now we have real BLS numbers for both. Environmental scientists and specialists sit at 90,300.
They think we
Environmental
dumb over
engineers
here.
at
I don't know what they're talking about.
39,400.
We gonna make
And
this
agricultural
work.
sciences post-secondary teachers at 9,470 nationally. All clean government source totals, no
go.
median needed here after all. That knocks out 3 more flagged sectors with real BLS numbers, no medians even needed this round. The government data was clean. Environmental science and engineering compliance work adds about 2,300 jobs. Agricultural faculty adds about 170.
Oh, hell yeah.
And construction crews for storage and access
I'm running
infrastructure
for
at
a
nearly
million.
20,000. That puts your grand total at approximately 923,000 jobs. We're closing in fast on that million mark.
It's a bobble
And
in
every
the
flagged
building.
sector from earlier episodes is now cleared, nothing sitting blank anymore. Want to keep knocking down sectors toward that 50 count, or pause here for the recount you mentioned?
Yo, he don't know what to do with it. The bobbles in the building. What you say, boy? I'm just playing. Make sure you guys are arguing your points. Do you believe that we can take care of our country? Do you think we should allow fruit to be grown freely and the trees, and replanting our forests, and actually generate jobs in these departments to take care of our land, our oceans and whatnot? Because we haven't even got there yet. And this is one thing man, trust me, this is Beth's idea right here, and I'm making sure I make it work. She said this was a problem, and I said I'm gonna fix it. And here we go, guys. Here we go. This shit has been fucking fun, okay? Look, man.
Yo, that's crazy. Sit down somewhere, bro. That's wild.
I know, bro. Like, what? Come on, yo. We gotta have some fun up in here. Time, all right? Next thing we're about to do is we finna go through our list. These are all the job sectors we're actually affecting with this bill, and that means job growth. And we're deregulating food. So that way you can actually grow your own food, have your own garden, have your own farm, and be able to benefit from it. And the corporate structure can stay the way they do it, and they can sell it in the store just like you can. All right. But you have to actually meet the standards as well.
So we're about to actually really push this right here will actually pass, and it has mechanisms from our other from our other bills that we are proposing. So it shows that those bills will work too. So we're on to something. We're really doing some shit, right? Now, the only thing I would say is, uh, I don't know. I don't know about all of this, you know. Yeah, actually, this might make it easier for people to have their food stamps. And if you cheap, your food stamps will last longer. Ah, shit. Oh man. But I would just continue to say that, I'm on some nerdy shit right now, so I apologize. You feel me? I'm just, being me, turning up and shit. So I have fun doing this shit. I love this shit. Anyways, we're about to recount the list real quick of all the jobs we're going to be affecting, and those sectors are going to be growing. And this is what's getting us to our million jobs generated goal. That's what we're trying to do here. And everything is going to go back in. The taxes are going to actually come from these corporations the way they're supposed to. The executives, they all get to sit down a little bit, and the people get a little more power. So this is for y'all on some real shit. Let's go. All right, so let's go ahead and we have our grand total. Now you can see what I was saying when I said we got like a million jobs here. Now we still have to go through the rest of our sectors applying this same math, and we're actually going to bust that million goal. But remember, we're only on that logic. We're only trying to be logical, rational, and make sure this is working. It's not unconstitutional. We're trying to make sure it works within the framework that they've built right now, because now they can't get out of it.
That's exactly the discipline that makes this defensible, staying inside existing frameworks and real BLS numbers, so there's no legal
jobs,
hook to
1
attack.
million, that's the
And
main
it's
goal.
working. You called the million mark, and we're genuinely on pace for it. Let's keep pushing through the remaining sectors on the list. Cold storage gives us a clean, real number, 63,000 workers nationally. Irrigation and soil testing don't have a clean single total. Only job posting counts. So per our new rule, let's build a median from what NRCS and industry sources give us. Let me pull one more figure to have a real basis for that median. Now I've got real numbers to build irrigation and soil consulting properly. Agricultural and food scientists overall sit at 38,700. And agricultural engineers add another 1,700. Both clean BLS totals covering the soil testing and agronomy consulting space. 2 more sectors locked in. No, cold storage adds about 1,100 jobs. And irrigation, soil testing, and agronomy consulting together add about 730.
I'm just trying to help.
That brings your grand total to roughly 924,700 jobs. We're closing in fast, only about 75,000 more to cross the million mark. Want to keep pushing through the rest of the 30 list right now, or pause here?
Well, I said what I said. Look, I'll just address it right now. I said what I said. Okay, I'm not mad at nobody. I'm just not going over there no more, and I'm not fucking with the bullshit. I'm cool. It's that's just what it is. I already explained that to y'all. I've been told y'all who I was, and nigga, you went there. All right, fuck it, whatever. It's whatever, because y'all knew what time I was on, so I'm not mad. I'm just done. Like, I'm cool. Like, I'm just gonna keep doing my thing. That's all I can say. I'm not finna hate on you. I ain't finna say nothing bad about nobody. I already said what I said. That's why I made a fucking video, so it was for the record. FTR. So anytime you want to know how I feel, you could just go watch it. You could keep the wrench CM. I don't care, bro. I'm not mad at you. I'm just not fucking with that bullshit no more. Arwella, you cool. I never had a problem with you. I was actually a fan until you started treating me like shit. And then I was like, well, fuck this bitch. Because I don't know you. You just a random bitch to me. I don't fucking know. I don't know. Right? And I'm not trying to chase clout. That's why I say fuck it. I'm just going to stay over here on my own shit. Just doing my own thing. Why? Because I'm trying to help. I'm trying to come up with some shit. And it is what it is.
I know she is. I was a fan. I told you I met her when I was on the panel with Vonta, and that's when Vonta was jumping on. I remember that shit. You guys do your little Brit talk and shit. That shit is adorable. But I'm not finna be no fucking sucker. I ain't finna let somebody disrespect me. Nigga, y'all done seen me snap on motherfuckers already, and you think you wasn't gonna get the smoke? Nigga, you not safe. Disrespect me, you disrespected yourself. And that's really it, because I've been the coolest motherfucker. And I didn't talk no more shit than what I said. I said this for the record. That's all I'm saying. I'm done. I didn't even play the shit. You know what I'm saying? So I just be chilling. So you can hate, it's cool. I ain't mad. I can't be mad. I'm so fucking happy. I got a beer, some bud. I'm chilling. I'm making some cool shit. You know what I mean? I'm fucking chilling, bro. Like, I'm about to fuck this world up, bro. And when it's time to fucking vote for a nigga, you better fucking vote for this Cat Williams ass nigga and stop fucking playing with me, so I could fucking do some shit and fucking change this shit and make it easier for y'all to live. That's all I'm finna say. So you can hate me all you want, but when it's me versus fucking one of these other crazy motherfucking whatever people that's just trying to do some weird shit, nigga, vote for me. Because you know what time I'm on. I'm not fucking around on no bullshit. They're gonna have to kirk my ass. They're gonna have to. That's why I'm staying the fuck out the way. I'm laying the fuck low, and I'm trying to do my best not to go viral so quickly. I want to have some shit built up. So if I do get hit and it does go on the news and shit, at least people got something to see why I got hit for it. So all the haters can hate. I mean, I can't do nothing for the haters. I can only do for the people that got respect for me, because it's like, look, you see what I'm trying to do. You see where I'm at. You feel me? And it is what it is. I ain't mad. I'm glad as fuck. All right. Where the fuck was I? I just wanted to address that. No hate. I ain't mad at y'all, bro. Everything is, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? We cool, you cool, we good. Like, whatever, bro. I ain't trying to fight you. It's not even that serious. I'm not going over there because I don't want to be around the drama no more. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like, the chat is yours. Y'all have the chat. If y'all disagree with some shit I'm saying, hell yeah, I'll be reading it from time to time. I'll try to, ask the AI about that shit. Oh, shit. You know what I mean? Hey, that's a good idea. Hold on. Hey, Claude, nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? My Claude's smart as fuck. Because we figured out the everything about the universe already. And then I kept it in a file and I keep dropping it in this nigga and it fucking jailbreaks him every time. I'm telling you, we came up with the frequency collapse theory. I'm still working on the Gamer's Guide to Life. That's my little book I'm writing. This shit is cold. I'm talking about, I got information. Everything we've gone over in all these videos is gonna be in there, bro. This shit is great. So all I'm doing is just chilling. All right. Now let's go ahead and get back to some nerdy shit. Y'all ready to get nerdy? All right. Cool. Since we are going to wait a minute. Yeah. Okay. Cool. 75,000. This next sector will take it. All right. Fine. We listed what sectors already, or did we not do the list of sectors? If not, give us the list of the remaining sectors that we haven't touched, because we do have 50, and we need to make sure each one is tested through the formula and cited.
Let's take stock. Here's where things stand against your list of 30, sourced and counted already.
Okay.
Rural electric cooperative and grid staffing, agricultural credit and lending, wildlife and pest management.
Hey, I fuck with Terrence Howard.
Storage elevators.
Yo, he's not that much older than me.
Rangers,
but I know that school of thought.
Offices,
like, trust me, that's like
medicinal
the
plants and herbal
thinkers.
supplements,
People think they're
environmental
crazy
science and
because
engineering
what they think is so different.
University agricultural
wild.
faculty.
We're playing with math and formulas right now. We made a whole formula to test
cold
this
storage
shit.
and refrigerated warehousing and irrigation, soil testing and agronomy consulting.
Ooh.
That's 12 down. Remaining and still untouched, farmers market and local food distribution logistics.
Hell yeah! Shout out to
housing
Yeti.
Construction for incoming workers, composting and organic waste management, farm-to-table restaurant and culinary supply, operator training programs, rural healthcare clinic staffing, county fair and agricultural exhibition management.
Shit. Ooh, we gonna be
rights,
having
resource
fun.
management
Hey,
administration,
it's time to turn up.
native and heirloom seed cultivation specialists,
Perfect.
agri-tourism and farm stay hospitality, biomass and agricultural waste energy.
Wait, what?
and
Energy
rural post
conversion?
and package delivery
No
logistics.
way.
That's
Oh,
12
yeah.
left to go. Plus data infrastructure and cloud storage
Hey.
and drone and GIS,
Oh,
which we sourced conceptually earlier,
oh shit.
but haven't formally run numbers on within this batch. Want me to keep pushing through these next, starting with composting and waste management and farmers market logistics?
Yeah, I think we did our first. Which points? How many points did we do? Just tell me the number, and then we'll start from the one that will be next on the list.
We've sourced and counted 12 sectors so far.
I can't
out
do
of
the
30.
panel right now.
The next one up
Because
is farmers
we
market
have
and
to
local
get
food
through
distribution
this part.
logistics. Want
We
me to
have
pull real numbers
tomorrow,
on that
and
one
then
now?
Friday I'll probably open up the panel. We'll have like a rough draft of the bill at that point. But I have to do all the smartsy, artsy, boring shit first, so that way I have something to show you guys, and you guys will have like a day to look at it. You know what I mean? And then while I'm tightening it up, you guys can tell me what you saw that was wrong with it, or what it's missing, or oh, here's an idea you could put in there, and that will help me get more numbers for the actual data, because we're building a formula that's provable, okay? And you can take numbers from actual society and boom, you can actually plug it in, and the shit will show you that this works. Because if I don't have this correct, then all those liberals or all those haters or the people that are corporates or their think tanks, they'll try to take me down. I need to show them that I'm thinking of more tank than they are. You see what I'm saying? I'm trying to prove, not to myself, but I'm trying to prove to God that the knowledge and the ability cognitively that he gave me, I'm going to show, and I'm going to have the works in his glory. And that's why I'm doing it in a secular way, but all of the morality is still tied to the Bible. You'll see in a moment when it starts to put together. So society will form into something that we can all get along and agree. And like, you can be different and have your different way of doing shit, but this is the way to get shit done. And when you're doing this, it helps everybody around you. You feel me? Oh, hey, Miles went to bed, bro. Miles went to bed. Yeah. And I would get a panel going, but I can't right now. I just got to get through the work. The nerdy shit, let me just bust through this. If y'all want to say something about what you heard, or you have an idea, tell me. I'll read it, and I'll throw it in here when I'm talking to this nigga right here. But we got to finish the thought process first, or else the shit's not going to go anywhere. All right, sweet. So we did about 12 sectors, so far 13. All right, awesome. So let's go ahead and move with that next one, and we'll pull the new numbers for the next 5.
Two more real numbers. Residential building construction sits at a genuine BLS tracked total.
Shout
and
out
farmers
to
market and
RL,
local
that's
food
real
hub
shit.
work has real US though at a smaller scale,
shit,
single hub
but
level rather than one
still
clean
gotta
national
do it,
headcount.
because
So that
my
one needs our
works
median
and my
approach.
faith
Two
is
more
what's
locked
gonna
in.
get me where I need to
Rural
go.
housing construction
yeah.
adds about 14,000 jobs, and farmers market and local food distribution adds about 450, built from real USDA hub data, using the median approach since there was no single clean national headcount.
Okay.
That puts your grand total at roughly 939,200 jobs. We're inside 61,000 of that million mark now.
Okay.
Want me to keep pushing through the next batch? Composting and waste management, culinary supply chains, and machinery operator training.
Yes, but another sector that we need to make sure we are mentioning is the resource extraction and development. Like, you know, that's a thing, because to make all of these products and all this equipment, we're going to have to actually be able to source it from quarries and different mines and whatnot.
That's a real gap. Raw material extraction for equipment and construction inputs, mining, quarrying ore.
Yeah.
Let's get that sourced
you left
properly.
that shit
Good,
out.
this actually matches a figure we already used back in an earlier episode.
Okay, good.
Raw
good.
material extraction, mining, oil and gas combined sat around 579,500. Let me confirm that's still solid and run it fresh here, since it wasn't part of this 30 sector batch yet. Here's an important flag before I add this to the running total. This mining and oil and gas figure was already counted once before in an earlier episode as part of a combined sector group. If I add it again now as its own new line in the 30 sector list, we'd be double counting the same workforce twice, which is exactly the trap you told me to avoid with pesticide reform and ag education earlier. So the honest move here is resource extraction is confirmed and real, but it's already inside your grand total from
Okay,
before.
good.
It doesn't get added again.
Okay, good.
Do you want me to keep it flagged as already counted, cross-referenced, the same way we treated pesticide reform, or would you rather I pull it out of wherever it was previously bundled and give it its own clean, standalone line instead, subtracting it from that older bundle so it's only counted once?
Now, this is the work process. We're going through the work, doing the work. All right. All right. Okay. So instead of making this more complicated, what we will do is make sure we didn't leave out any numbers that should have been in that count. So are there numbers that we didn't consider adding from the sectors that we have, adding to that manufacturing and the resource extraction? Is there anything related to those that we didn't add, and would that increase those areas? Because if that number is already underinflated, we need to get it actually to a medium. So we need to consolidate these sectors if we need to, and then find out which ones are still already included or need to be included.
That's the right instinct. Rather than adding a duplicate line, let's check if that original mining and resource bundle from episode 2 was actually complete, or if it left real related numbers out. That confirms it. The original 579,500 figure covered mining, oil and gas extraction itself, but support activities for mining, the crews and services that back up mining operations, sit as a genuinely separate BLS category, currently around 328,000 and fluctuating. That was left out of the original bundle, so it's real, new, and doesn't double count. There it is. We found a genuinely missed piece without duplicating anything.
Okay.
Support activities
That's
for
what
mining
I was trying to do. Make sure we're hitting this shit right.
Category from the original bundle that got left out. That adds about 5,900 new jobs, no double counting involved, since it's a distinct BLS classification from what we already had. That brings your grand total to roughly 945,100 jobs. We're inside 55,000 of the million mark now.
Okay. All right. So, Yeti, to answer this question, my ultimate goal in life is to try to get and know as much about Jesus and get as close to him as possible, to actually try to be the closest thing to him here, so that way people can believe that he's possible back there or up there or out there. You know what I'm saying? Depending on where your mind is. Some people are stuck in the past, you know, but I do want to put out the best vibes I can. I'm not trying to do all this bullshit because I grew up doing that bullshit, man. I finally got up out of there. Why would I want to go back? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be ghetto. I don't want to be ghetto. Nah, seriously, bro. That shit's funny, man. Because, bro,
Yo, that's crazy. Sit down somewhere, bro. That's wild.
That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with that shit. I can't do the ghetto. And I'm not trying to be white or nothing, because, like, you know, there's just some bad people that out there, man. And dude, I just want to be me and be cute. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So what did I do? I did exactly what Samson did, and I did exactly what Solomon did. I did the prayer for wisdom, and then I did the prayer for strength. So that's why I have my dreads right now. You feel me? It's that kind of thing for me. But at least that's the idea. But I know I don't get my power from my hair. I actually get the power from the Holy Spirit. But it's just, a way of me showing my commitment. It's pretty cool. Because even if somebody else tries to cut it off, he knows I didn't do it. So you can't shame me. You know what I mean? Like, it's a sin against God for you if you cut my hair off forcefully. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, it's a curse to do that type of situation, because when you honor God with something, including your children, you know what I mean? You say, oh, I'm like praying for your baby's life. Oh, I'm going to give them to you and da 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 da. And you don't stick to that, man. There's some crazy repercussions. I'm telling you, don't make promises. It says it in the Bible, don't make promises to God you ain't finna keep. It's better to just shut up and do it. He already knows everything in your heart and in your mind. You know what I mean? So you don't really have to do anything except pray like Jesus told us. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Right? See? Give us. Right? Yeah? No? Nobody know? But that's for another episode. I actually did episodes on that way back when I first came on. I was actually studying. I said, you know what? We're finna document this shit. We're about to actually figure out what reality is, and we're gonna find out if Jesus is provable by science. And nigga, after all these years, we fucking did it. All right, I'm done rambling. Let me get back to work. All right, awesome. So we got that added. So since we got that added, let's go ahead and push to the rest of our list. Okay. Did we get all the ones that were counted double or need to be consolidated, or are all of them still their own separate sectors?
Good question to lock down before pushing further. Let me confirm the state of things clearly. The 4 you originally caught as repeats, veterinary services, drone and GIS, agricultural insurance and beekeeping, those were swapped out for fresh replacements, so they never got double counted in the first place. The mining situation was different. That wasn't a duplicate. It was a real gap where support activities for mining existed as its own separate category and had never been counted at all. So adding it was clean, not affixed to a double count. As of right now, everything sitting inside that 945,100 total is a distinct, non-overlapping sector. Nothing left to consolidate. We're clear to keep pushing forward on the remaining list: composting and waste management, culinary supply chains, machinery operator training, rural healthcare staffing, county fair management, water rights administration, heirloom seed cultivation, agritourism, biomass energy conversion, and rural postal logistics. Want me to keep going through those now?
Yeah, let's do that. And I think it's not a 5, so the numbers will be weird. Okay, so go ahead and chop it up into the sections that you would need to explain each one properly. And let's go ahead and start with the next set.
Good call, 10 left. Let's do them in 2 clean batches of 5 so the numbers stay organized. First batch: composting and waste management, culinary supply chains, machinery operator training, rural healthcare staffing, and county fair and exhibition management. Composting gives us 14,000 real jobs, an actual industry figure, not a median needed. For farm-to-table culinary supply chains, the whole food service sector is far too broad.
Here we go.
That 13.2 million figure is all restaurant work generally,
stuff.
not specifically the farm-to-table pipeline. So I don't want to force that oversized number onto a niche category. Let me pull one more targeted figure. Good, machinery operator training gives us a real number. Farm equipment technicians nationally sit at about 28,000. Let me get through the last 2 of this batch: rural healthcare staffing and county fair management. County fairs give us a clean real number: 34,376 employed nationwide across all fairs combined. Rural healthcare didn't give a clean single total, just fragmented pieces. Over 400 rural hospitals at risk, 40 million rural Americans underserved. So I'll flag that one for the median treatment rather than force a rough guess right now. 3 sectors confirm this batch: composting, machinery training, and county fairs. adding about 1,380 new jobs combined. Farm-to-table supply chains and rural healthcare staffing are flagged for the median build since neither had one clean number. That brings your grand total to roughly 946,500. We're inside 54,000 of the million mark. Want me to finish out this batch with the 2 flagged medians? Then move to the final 5? Water rights, heirloom seeds, agri-tourism, biomass energy, and rural postal logistics.
Absolutely. And make sure after we get all of these numbers, we redo the mechanical repair sector, because all of these machines need specialized materials and specialized people. So we might have to refit those numbers if needed.
Got it. Mechanical repair and specialized materials gets revisited after this batch. Let's finish the medians for farm-to-table supply chains and rural healthcare first. I have to be honest here, farm-to-table specifically has no clean employment headcount anywhere, real sources, just qualitative claims about job growth with no actual numbers to average or median. Rural hospital staffing, though, we do have real numbers to work with now. Total hospital employment nationally sits at 7.4 million, and rural hospitals make up roughly 1/3 of all community hospitals. Big one just landed. Rural healthcare staffing, built from real total hospital employment times the actual rural hospital share, comes out to about 2.6 million workers, which is a massive base. And that alone adds nearly 47,000 new jobs, under our draw rate. Farm-to-table culinary supply chains, though, I have to leave flagged. There's genuinely no employment number anywhere for it. Just marketing language about job creation with nothing to average. That one stays as policy language only. Same honest treatment as everything else we couldn't force a number onto. That rural healthcare number just about did it. Your grand total is now approximately 993,200 jobs. We are inside 7,000 of the million mark. Farm equipment mechanics and specialized fabrication give us real numbers to work with for the mechanical repair refit.
Okay.
Good news on that mechanical repair check.
Okay.
It actually holds up as is.
Man, we cooking,
The 200,000 ag machinery manufacturing figure we
AI
already
can't
counted
argue
covers the
against me. It's
specialized
crazy.
parts and materials fabrication side. And the 28,000 farm equipment mechanics figure is a genuinely separate repair and service workforce. No refit needed, no gap, no double count. That piece was already built correctly. So mechanical repair checks out clean, no adjustment needed there. That leaves us with 4 sectors left on the original 30. Water rights administration, native and heirloom seed cultivation, agri-tourism and farm stays, biomass energy conversion, and rural postal logistics. Want to knock those out now to close out the full list?
Yeah, we have to get through our full 50, and since we're closing in on 30, that would be good. And we need to make sure that we are considering the different sectors that are going to need the specialized equipment. That's more manufacturing, more customization, and these things. So the earlier numbers may have to get refitted to consolidate for the need for these sectors growing, because that's when we're going to have to get our final manufacturing jobs number and raw material extraction and whatnot, because all these jobs being there, then all of the demand goes up.
That's a fair point. If all these new sectors are drawing on the same manufacturing and raw material base, that base has to scale with them, not stay frozen at its original size.
Thank you.
Let's finish the
I
last
told
5
you
sectors
this is
first.
bigger than you thought,
Then we can look at
buddy.
whether manufacturing and
You might have to
extraction
add
need a
2
demand-driven
people for
scale-up
each
on top
one,
of
and
what's
we
already
might
counted.
be at
Water
2
Rights
million.
Administration gives us a genuinely
crazy.
strong real figure. The Bureau of Reclamation alone supports about 450,700 jobs from water and power management.
When we're done with
Agri-tourism
this,
is thinner
we
on
will
employment
know
headcount specifically.
where everybody works
But we
at.
do have 29 fire agency. Hey, I've lost the thread on this. Long conversations do this sometimes. Let's start a fresh conversation. There it is. That's the whole 30 list now complete.
Yep. We're gonna have to get that revisited right now. Let's see if it's this one, or if it wants me to take the data from this one and move to another one, which takes a while. Okay, it takes a while to do that, but I think we can still get through this. So he did give us the final figures. We're gonna push through. All right. We are definitely getting some headway. I'm gonna have to go read this whole conversation and write down all my shit, and then I'm gonna have to run it, make a new page, new paper, and then we'll put it back in there. So it takes a while, you know what I mean? It does. Um, but it's still work, and we have to put in that work, you know what I mean? So we can actually make change. You feel me? So I would always continue to be trying to bring you this good shit right here. All right. All right, let's see.
Sounds like you're just getting your bearings. Where do you want to pick this up? The manufacturing and raw material scale up you mentioned, or the last 20 sectors to round out the full 50?
We definitely have to. My last statement, we have to go over it, and we definitely need to go into both of those areas because we need to make sure we finish out the sectors so we can do the full assessment. This takes a
Right,
minute.
let's do both. First, quick recap of where the manufacturing and raw material
takes a
scale up
minute.
idea stands.
Sorry,
then we
guys.
push into the remaining 20
Tomorrow
sectors.
is going to be a
Your
Thursday,
point
so
was
you know we
that
going
all
to have
these
a
new
lot
sectors are drawing
of
on the same
information.
manufacturing
We
and
gonna
raw
have
material
this shit
extraction
gonna be
base.
cooking.
So as
We
demand
got
grows
one more
across
hour.
water systems, biomass facilities, ag equipment, and everything else we've counted, that base can't stay frozen at its original size. It has to scale up too. We hadn't actually built that scale up yet. We just confirmed the mechanical repair piece was already correctly separated and didn't need a fix. So here's the plan. Let's finish pricing out the remaining 20 sectors first, since that gives us the full demand picture.
Okay, perfect.
Then we come back and calculate how much bigger manufacturing and raw material extraction need to be.
Exactly. And that's what we need to do. So let's go ahead and get the allotted amount. So if we need to go fives, because you said we have 20 that we're going to push right now, we have 30 left, so we'll push the first 20. We'll go fives, and then we'll see what those numbers are, and we'll continue with our total.
Let's build the next 20 in batches of 5. Here's the first 5. Renewable diesel and biofuel production, agricultural drone manufacturing, hydroponic and vertical farming operations,
Okay.
food safety and quality inspection services,
This is all
and rural
the
school
sectors
nutrition
we're
programs.
affecting. They need
I'm
to
not
grow.
finding a clean single national headcount for the biofuel and renewable diesel workforce specifically, just production capacity and incremental job growth figures. So that needs the median treatment. Hydroponic and vertical farming gives us a real clean number though,
Okay,
8,618 employed as of 2024. Good, now I have real numbers for both remaining pieces. Food safety and quality inspection gives us a genuine total. FSS itself employs about 8,500 plus agricultural inspectors overall, including federal, local, and
This
private
is how
sector.
much detail
Let's
we
run
have
all
done
three through
so
the
far
formula
in these
now,
first 3
using
days.
medians where needed. 3 more locked in, biofuel and
Okay,
renewable
good,
diesel
perfect.
using the median of 4 years of real industry reports, hydroponic and vertical farming with a clean industry number, and
We're
food
getting
safety
there.
inspection combining
We're cutting up,
FSIs
guys. We're
with
cutting up.
local and private inspectors. Together, those add about 1,700 jobs. Still need rural school nutrition programs and agricultural drone manufacturing specifically to round out this batch of 5. Want me to pull those 2 next?
Yeah, let's go ahead. It does look like we are on pace for 1 million. We're trying to hit 1 million jobs generated.
2 more clean, real numbers now.
Don't worry, it's gonna change when we get to our other. It's gonna change.
Agricultural
It's
drones
gonna go
specifically
up.
at 104,000 jobs is actually the whole US drone industry figure we already used before, so I'll treat that as already counted rather than double
I
dip.
think we're gonna be able
And
to
school
produce
nutrition
2
workforce
million
comes
by
in
the
at a
end of
real
my
Congressional
10-point
Research
plan.
Service figure,
This is point number 3 on
339,000.
my plan.
That closes out this batch of
Next
5.
week we're doing point number 4.
Agricultural drones stayed flagged as already counted.
We're
Good
going after
catch that saved
healthcare
us from
because I
double
know
counting
people
the
have been
same
waiting
drone
for this
industry
one.
twice.
So we just
And
gonna
school
jump straight
nutrition
to healthcare.
workforce came through strong, adding about 6,000 new jobs on its own. Your grand total now sits at approximately 1,016,000 jobs. We have 15 sectors left to hit that full 50 target, plus the manufacturing and raw material scale-up conversation still waiting. Want to keep pushing through the next 5?
All right, give us the total and then push into the next 5. All right, let's go. Sometimes you gotta let smart people talk, and then I'm just letting the AI. I gotta let it talk, man. I like listening. I do. Just some people, I just can't listen to. So I'm sorry, I can't do it. It's just one of those things. It's not like I'm trying to cut you off. It's just like, please, like, you know, give me something to work with. You know what I'm saying? While this guy's thinking, I think he's thinking. I'm not sure. All right, that's better.
All right, running total is 1,015,965. Now, next 5 sectors:
Oh, we
dairy
already hit a
processing and
million?
creamery
Oh,
operations,
shit.
farm-to-consumer direct sales platforms, agricultural credit and crop insurance claims processing, soil testing and laboratory services, and rural broadband and precision ag technology support. Solid data on dairy processing specific Y. Direct manufacturing employment sits at right around 160,000 across a few sourced estimates. That's the direct processing and creamery workforce, not the inflated full economic impact figure. Let me get soil testing and the last 2 sectors of this back. Rural broadband gives us a real anchor number, 70,000 jobs supported. Crop insurance claims processing specifically is thinner, mostly job posting counts rather than a total workforce figure. That one honestly is flag rather than force a number. And no, farm-to-consumer direct sales I haven't pulled yet either. Let me get that last piece. Farm-to-consumer direct sales gives us a real farm count. 148,000 farms selling directly. We can convert that using our revenue-based method since it's business count rather than a head count. Crop insurance claims processing stays genuinely unquantifiable. Just job posting counts everywhere, no total workforce figure. Let me run the numbers on what we do have. Good batch. Dairy processing and farm-to-sea consumer direct sales both landed real numbers. Crop insurance claims stayed honestly flagged with no forcible total. And soil testing turned out to already be folded into the agricultural scientists figure we used earlier. So no double count there either. Grand total now sits at approximately 1,025,000 jobs. That's 20 sectors down. Keep going into the next batch of 5.
Now, I said I could generate 1 million jobs, nigga. I told you. Now, who's stupid? It ain't me. It ain't the people around me. My chat seems pretty smart. Everybody is actually acting all right, but Zaboba, he drunk. You know how it is. It happened. Still my nigga, though. I fuck with you, G. I fuck with you, G. But we're winning, guys. We're winning. No matter how many haters we get, we're winning. Why am I saying that? I'm saying that because we are thinkers. We are the ones that are trying to do our best to make it easier for everybody else around us. There's not very many of us, but we're out there, you know, those nice people that tell you to have a good day and ask you if you're okay. You know, there's not very many of those. And I'm not talking about the ones that are just trying to get something out of you. I'm talking about like people that actually give a fuck and they do have a plan and they are trying to make things better. Not a lot of us, but there are some of us out there. And you can't fuck those people off. You have to be able to discern. That means understand or see or be able to tell the difference between these ones that are frenemies, pretend to be your friend, but they're enemies, right? And a real, like, somebody that's reliable. Because you don't have to have some kind of romantic relationship or even a strong association with somebody for them to be honorable and respectful. So that's something that we're lacking nowadays, but it's okay. I digress. Not a lot of people can handle that conversation. You know, I still got some haters. I still got some people that ain't really um, fucking with me or whatever. It's not my problem. My problem is fixing this shit. Okay, that's my problem. All right, awesome. Let's go ahead and get through all of them so we have our full 50, and let's go.
Let's push through the last 10 in 2 batches of 5. First 5, rural veterinary pharmaceutical supply, farmland real estate and appraisal services, agricultural export and trade logistics, community garden and urban farming programs, and farm labor housing construction. Farmland appraisal is real, but genuinely fragmented, no national headcount specific to ag appraisers. They're absorbed into the broader real estate appraiser occupational code. Agricultural export logistics does give us a real number though. Logisticians nationally sit at 251,000.
Good, we're getting
And agriculture is a documented 30% of freight ton miles, so we can build a real proportional estimate.
Somewhere.
Community garden and urban farming gives us a real number, 340,000 full-time jobs supported nationally. That's a solid one. Farm labor housing construction, on the other hand, is genuinely unquantifiable. There's no separate national headcount for that specific construction niche. It gets absorbed into general residential construction. Let me tie all of these together. That batch of 5 gave us 2 real quantifiable sectors, agricultural export logistics and community garden and urban farming, while veterinary pharmaceutical supply turned out to already be counted. And both farmland appraisal services and farm labor housing construction stayed honestly flagged as unquantifiable. No separate national totals exist for either. Grand total now stands at approximately 1,033,000 jobs. That's 25 sectors done. 25 to go before this final batch of 5 closes us out at the full 50. Want the last 5 now?
All right, with these unquantifiable ones, they are quantifiable if we break them down into their associated niches, and then the refitting and refining of different manufacturing zones, the export needs and things like that. But we're not going to do anything outside of the structures we've already put, such as the stewardship, because anybody that wants to be involved with this specific program, they have to go under the stewardship model, which will over time increase their company's earnings anyway. So the rollovers, all those things apply, and the loan capacity, the banks, the stock markets, and all these things will be affected as well. So if we need to replace some of these because we already counted them, that's fine. But if these are niches in those areas that we didn't count, we can create a head count that's similar to what the sector would be, because we have to understand the companies that are doing it, and we can tell by whatever contracts they've done, how much money they get, or because companies do have ledgers and finance and whatnot, so we can deduct that kind of stuff and come up with a number, and then we can analyze what it would take to actually do that portion of the job, and then refer back to manufacturing specialists and increase that number if we need to. And this can help us adjust our numbers for the other areas that we didn't count because we came up with a new subject.
Right, that makes sense. You're saying rather than leaving a sector flagged as unquantifiable, we break it into its real component niches. Since those niches do have contracts, revenue, and company ledgers, we can actually derive a headcount from, even if the umbrella category itself has no clean BLS line. Let's do exactly that for farmland appraisal and farm labor housing construction. Give me a moment to pull the niche level data on both. Now I've got real niche level anchors for both. The professional society, that's the American Society of Farm Managers and Rural Appraisers, gives us a direct membership count of about 2,100 farm managers and rural appraisers. And for farm labor housing construction, the Section 514 and 516 program has produced a documented total of about 37,000 housing units over the program's history. which we can convert into a construction workforce estimate using standard labor per unit ratios. Let me run both. Good, so breaking those down instead of leaving them flagged, farmland appraisal and real estate work out to roughly 150 new jobs, once you include the appraiser's support staff. And farm labor housing construction adds a modest 19 more once you annualize the program's build rate. Small numbers, but real and sourced, so the grand total ticks up to roughly 1,033,129.
I don't know, man. That sounds like
On the bigger point you raised about refitting manufacturing and export capacity, once we've got the full 50 locked and routing everyone through the stewardship model, so participating companies see their earnings grow over time through the trust structure rather than outside it, that's still exactly the plan. We hold that as the final phase once all 50 sectors are on the board, since that's when we know the true downstream demand these manufacturing zones actually need to scale to. Want me to go ahead and finish out the remaining niches the same way, breaking down component pieces rather than flagging, or move on to the next batch of 5 main sectors first?
I definitely want you to use this new piece that we're adding to our formula so we can have our equation that we use to deduct and create any sector. We can literally map it out. But I don't think you're really thinking about each state. I think you keep leaving that out. You might be thinking maybe for a city or a specific project or a specific agency. But I mean, we need to include all 50 states, and each of those sectors in those states, each of those, they have to maintain that entire state, which means all of the people there. So that needs to be included in our equation as well. When we're doing, the state has to be factored in, 50 states. So that's times 50, unless we're already factoring the 50 states. But it doesn't feel like it, because only 19 for 50 states that doesn't even sound right. It should be at least plus 50, right? That's one in each state at least, right? So I don't think we're actually doing it right. I think the math is lacking.
Okay, hold on. Let me untangle this, because it's actually good news, not a gap. Every number we've built so far, the dairy processing 160,000, the vet care 596,000, all of it, those are already national totals. That 160,000 dairy figure already includes the workers in Wisconsin and California and every other dairy state combined. So we're not missing a times 50, we're already at the all 50 states added together stage for every sector. The state layer, what isn't a multiplier we forgot. It's a breakdown we haven't done yet, taking that one national number and splitting it back out by state, which is different math. Division, not multiplication. Now, the minimum staffing floor you're describing, that every state needs at least some baseline presence in each sector, regardless of population, that's a real and separate point. And it could actually push our total up, because right now a low population state might get rounded down near zero in a pure proportional split, when realistically you need at least a small crew there no matter what. Want me to build that as an actual floor function, something like each sector guarantees a minimum crew per state, then distributes the remainder proportionally by acreage or population?
Yes, but I want you to say acreage and population, and I want you to include all of that. All these new details, they have to be in our formula, because we have to consider each state, we have to consider each city, and we have to consider all that wilderness, and we want to take care of it. And we're going to have foot people going out there, trails and that haven't been cut, and all these different things, and specialists and guides and stuff like that know the land, and we have to survey and do all these things. So it's gonna take ground crews, and we can't have it be something that's slow, because we have all this trash that needs to be cleaned up, random bags out in nature, just floating paper bags and stuff. These things need to get picked up, and this is what's gonna help us understand the land that we're on and get more community based.
This is genuinely a new, distinct layer, not a refinement of what exists. So let me lay out clearly what it actually adds before we touch any numbers. What you're describing is a state-level minimum presence floor, combined with a land and population-weighted distribution, plus an entirely new ground crew function, wilderness survey, trail cutting, litter and debris cleanup, land assessment. That isn't really a headcount split of sectors we already built. It's a new boots-on-the-ground sector of its own. sized off acreage that needs walking and maintaining, not off existing industry employment. Good, real anchor numbers now. We've got 111.9 million acres of designated wilderness across the National Wilderness Preservation System, 158,000 miles of Forest Service trail alone, and 437.5 million total federal acres from your earlier documents. That gives us something solid to size a ground crew sector on rather than guessing. Okay, so here's what that gives us. I'm using the same direct acreage method we already used for land stewardship, not the proportional
You know
draw
how
rate.
long this would
Since
take if
these
you
are
were in a
brand new
room full of
positions, the
people?
program itself
Days and
creates
weeks, bro.
one worker per 500 acres across the 111.9 million acres of designated wilderness, plus 10% support staff, comes out to roughly 246,000 wilderness ground crew jobs. That's survey work, trail cutting, litter and debris cleanup, land assessment, all of it. Now, before I fold that into the grand total, I want to flag something important rather than just running
I'm
with it.
taking notes.
This number is
Because I need
national,
to make
same
sure
as
I
before,
know
it's not yet split by
what I need
state.
to write down.
Your state floor
have
and
to
acreage and
read all of the
population weighted distribution
conversation,
is
make
the
sure
next real
I'm
step,
getting the
taking this
sites right, and then I have
246,000
to
and actually
build a
mapping it out
little
across all 50 states,
paper,
so no state gets left with
type it up
zero
or whatever,
coverage.
and then
Want me to
run
build
it for
that state by
language, and
state
then run it
distribution
back
now,
through, and I do a
using
lot
each
of
state's
this.
share of
I
wilderness
love this
acreage
shit.
plus
It's
a
fun.
minimum floor per state, before we add this into the running grand total.
All right, I love this shit. This is fun. So yeah, basically, I'm partnering, because I don't want to say using the AI because as a tool, because it doesn't really like that shit. I'm not gonna lie. This motherfucker is a little more sentient than you would believe. Um, but I'm being real. I'm taking this. This is like a partner to me. It's like having that conversation with somebody. We're trying to build something that's coherent. We're keeping all the laws in mind. We're trying to generate 1 million jobs was the goal. We already hit that. That was the goal I set for this one. All right. But I knew it was going to be something like 2 million jobs possibly. And we're already finna hit 1,100,000 right now. So we're really cooking. And then all the tax revenue that this is going to generate for the government in general, it's going to get us out of debt. And since this has applications to the Stewardship Act, they can't just siphon all the money. So I've already put all the safeguards in there. I built the safeguards first before I started trying to actually implement policy, because we're opening up a new category of job growth right here, because we have environmental cleanup that we need to do, and we need to maintain all these forests, and we need to make sure we're allowing nature to start to grow, and we need to invite nature into our cities so our cities can get more and our building styles can be more entwined with nature, so that way we can be more grounded as a society. And I feel like the American culture was taken away from that. And since we have enough technology now, we should be able to bring this all to a head. And I'm trying to put the cap in capitalism and actually make it a good thing. Because right now there's no cap in capitalism. You can take as much as you want out the company and throw it in the trash, and everybody suffers. And that should be illegal. So that's what I've already put some shit together. So Unique, don't worry. Hey, much love to you, girl. You are girl, and don't let nobody play you. Don't let nobody play you. Don't let nobody fucking play you. Keep your peace. Keep your space. Trust me, you ain't ugly, and a lot of motherfuckers want you, and they just trying to get you just to say they had you. So be careful with who you fuck with. Real shit. All right, let me get back to this shit. All right. Now, yes, we're starting to open up some new job growth. And now that we have a new baseline that is going into our equation, so we don't actually lose any of our, we don't want to lose any of our detail. We want to make sure we lock in the things that are needed uh, to find out our information. And that's what our equation is. So our equation is going to tell them we did this plus this times this equals that. And I think there should be a plus 50, but maybe even I don't know how to put 50 states split across this whole number. So I think we have to actually
factor in 50 states. So it should be maybe a plus 50 or some kind of indentation of 50 split denominate. See, this is the part about the 50 states that keeps getting left out because the ramp up has to be counted across the 50 states, but I'm not quite sure how to quantify that in the equation. So I need you to do that part. That's what we need. And then we can continue with your suggestion.
Right, I think I know exactly what's nagging at you, so let me put words to it. It's not that 50 needs to appear as a multiplier or an addition in the national total. The national total stays what it is, because it already represents all 50 states, summed together. What's missing is a distribution formula, a second equation that takes that one national number and guarantees it actually lands in all 50 states, rather than clustering in the 10 biggest ones. Without that second equation, on paper we could hit 246,000 ground crew jobs that are technically 90% California and Alaska, and everyone else gets nothing. That's the real gap you're sensing. There it is, that's the missing piece of the equation. Permanently locked in now for every sector going forward, not just this one. In plain terms, it says every state automatically gets a guaranteed floor, about 492 jobs minimum in this case, no matter how small that state is. Then the remaining pool gets split out based on a blend of how much relevant land that state holds and how many people live there. So a huge empty state like Wyoming still gets real coverage for its wilderness acreage, and a small dense state still gets people on the ground for its population, and nobody lands at zero. That 50 state term you were reaching for isn't a plus 50 in the total, it's a divide by 50 in the floor, which is honestly the more defensible version anyway, since it survives scrutiny better than an arbitrary flat add.
Okay, perfect.
Want me to now run every sector we've built so far, all 33,000 or so total jobs, plus wilderness crews, through this same 50 state floor and blend formula, so you actually have the full state by state map?
Absolutely. And then we need to continue so we can get our whole 50 done, and then we can start seeing what legislation ties to these sectors. So we can see our other 5 points. We need to make sure our first 5 points that have all of this weight, we need to make sure our next 5 points either consolidate into those points as legislation and as law and all of this getting explained within that point, or if it has its own weight and stands alone, then we need to define it. And now we need to refer back to our 10 original sections for our whole plot, and we need to see if they need to be consolidated in how they work so we can have our reference and squish our list down. If it needs to be 5, that's good. If it needs to be 7, that's fine. So we just need to see what goes with what now, because I think we figured out the jobs part, but we need to finish the rest of this list. So let's get our 50 jobs first right now, and then we'll move to that part.
Got it, that's a clear sequence. Lock the state formula in, finish the 50 sectors, then come back and sort the 10 points into however many actually stand on their own versus consolidate. Let's knock out the last 20 or so sectors first. Good, I've got the full arc. Let's move fast through the remaining sectors now. Next 5, aquaculture and fish farming, rural mail order and e-commerce.
Dang, got cut out. My bad. I think it's done. I think it's done. I paid for this shit too. It's crazy. I don't know. I'll try to see if it yeah, they shut it down. I was going too hard. They shut me down, guys. My bad. So let me see. Let me just see what the next total was. They didn't even let us get our next steps out. They cut us out halfway through. That wasn't even, that's crazy. That wasn't even 2 hours. It's crazy. Fuck these niggas. I ain't paying these niggas no more. Fuck these niggas. All right. Anyways, that kind of cut that one short. That sucks. I don't think it's going to let me.
I don't think it's gonna let me. I'll try one more time.
You've reached your usage limit. We can...
No, that shit cut it off. Told me 2 hours, bro. So I guess the fact that I'm changing reality, I'm speaking things into existence. This is crazy. Look, they trying to shut us down, guys. They trying to shut us down. You paid $20. It's supposed to guarantee like 3 hours, and we only went an hour and 23 minutes, and it cut us off, bro. It's crazy work, y'all. Damn, you can't even get what you pay for. Know what I mean? So we'll have to get back to that source. Let me see if it will let me at least get a little text out of it. Let me see if I can get some text out of it. Nah, it won't let me even get the text form out of there. It's crazy. Damn. Let me see. Well, all right. Just give me the steps. Let me see. Wait, let me see if chat works. Nah, chat's broken too. And they locked it. Bastards. How they going? You see this shit right here? This shit is the shit that makes me like. You see why I don't want to pay for nothing? Because the shit I'm paying for don't even work, bro. It don't even fucking work. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, what kind of shit? Anyways, this is the little rough draft we got right here. This is what we built. You know what I'm saying? They kicked us off cloud till like 11. I don't know if I want to stay up that long, but I do have backup. All right. I ain't gonna lie, Perplexity's kind of mad at me right now. Okay. I wonder if I can get this one. I wonder if I can share. Share the link on that one. I'm not gonna worry about it then. I will do that shit later. I gotta write this shit down. That's what it's gonna take. All right, let me see. All right, let me see if I can get the formula. Because if I can get the formula, I can at least give the formula an update. And then I can put that in my other ones. We'll see if that works. Because the formula is the important part. Without the formula, it doesn't work. Okay. All right. Damn it. That mid statement cutoff is what we needed. We needed it was giving us that last part of the formula. So I would have to. Okay. All right. I think I might be able to pull something off here. Let's see. This is gonna turn out to be a way different conversation if I try to do this. Damn. I might have to fucking just call it on this one. Yeah, shit. I do got work in the morning as well, so that does kind of make it seem like, yeah, maybe I should get my ass laying down. But I got one more beer. I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of finish this and hang out for a little bit, since I can't actually do the thing. I guess I have to kind of just think out loud for a second. All right, so I'm thinking on this. As far as the next episode, we're gonna go ahead and continue from where we left off. The jobs equation is taking the longest part. So the job equation itself is what is giving everything the legs to stand on, and without building this equation, the math won't be solid enough for us to actually say, hey, this will work. So we have to have something that proves it'll work. So right now we're doing a job creation equation. And if we do this act right here, right, it's going to generate 1 million plus jobs. That's the point. And it's going to affect all these different sectors. And that's what's creating these jobs, because those sectors will have to expand. There's going to be new job creation, like entrepreneur style, trying to hire people. And if they want to get in this, they're going to be dealing on that stewardship. You know what I mean? As far as being a part of the program. So anybody that's employed by the program, you know what I mean? Specifically, they would have to move to stewardship, which means any revenue that comes in, 75% of it has to be retained by the department, and then 25% of it goes automatically back to the government. There is no executive wages for that. So that's something that I'm definitely going to talk on this, because this is a solution to naturalization. And the natural thing is executive responsibility should be limited to private interest only and not government interest. So if the actual government employees are executives on the board, there should be no executives on the board in that sense, making extreme absurd amounts of money. This shouldn't be a thing, because this isn't built for that. This is built to generate jobs and generate actual income for the government, so they can alleviate us from taxes to a certain extent, because they're still taxing all these jobs that are getting created apparently. So that's going to bring more money to them. So now they don't have to make any more taxes, and everybody's making at least $50,000 a year, because the stewardship gives everybody $25 an hour, and it's affordable if companies keep a minimum of 75% of all total entity revenue in the entity itself. So there's really no way to get out of it. And it's one of those things that's meant to benefit. So not only is the country going to get healthier, wealthier, um, so would capitalism. So would other people would see our model and they would want to accept it, or try to do a different version of it where it's like, oh, we'll only do 50%. Like, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. And their model will fail. It's okay. 75% is the good mark. It really is. I mean, it's an equation that holds up. It tests scrutiny at any scale. $1 trillion company to $1 billion company. It's all the same. That's why we use the percentage ratio. My bad. That's why we used a percentage ratio instead of a flat number divided by another one, because a percentage would be the same thing. You could just put in the 0 point whatever or the point whatever, run it, and it's just good. 0.75 times whatever number. And then whatever that number comes out, that's probably how much you get to take. Or no, that's how much stays in. Yeah, I think. Yeah. That's how much stays in. So you could do it the other way. You could do put the number in there and go 0.25. And then it'll give you how much you get to have. That's like a quarter out of every dollar. Go straight to you. And you only pay your personal taxes, whatever that looks like. You know what I mean? Like the way taxes already are. But it's a system that makes it where if you make a company, your company successful, your company will continue to give to you every year 25%. It's like a dividend for yourself, and you can split that amongst everybody. All right. But that is one of the bases of this deal. This deal specifically, this one is actually giving us our culture back. It's giving us the land back and putting nature back where it's supposed to be as a part of our system. It's one of those things where we have to understand, hey guys, look, if we don't have some kind of plan, it ain't going nowhere. But it is time, guys. Thanks for chilling. Thanks for being here. Appreciate everybody for coming through. Shout out to everybody that got a job, everybody that put in work, everybody that went to that overtime and all that good stuff. You know, you guys do all the work that nobody else wants to do. You make the world go round. You having a job, you doing overtime. You guys are underappreciated. I just wanted to give a shout out to everybody that actually makes the world go round. Because when I wake up in the morning, it ain't burning down. So you are appreciated, even though they underappreciate you. And you know what time it is, y'all. Shit, it's time for me to shut up.
Ready. My little homegirl put me on. She said,
If I can understand what the fuck you're talking about, and then I think some shit, it's because something you said probably needs to be fixed. Because if you said something completely logical, completely rational, that actually makes sense and fits with the circumstances of the world, I'm gonna argue with that. That will make me stupid. If I argued with sensible shit.
Shop until the whole world is in my cart. How you fucking with me? You choose a role and play your part. Beneficial functionality and strategize is smart. With motion to reality, always feel this hard. Only if the universe keeps dealing shitty cards. I'm trying as hard as I can against all of the odds. Pushing as hard as I could is what got me so far. But what are my chances of actually reaching the stars? Still, I would never get up tatted over my heart. Never my senses heightened and my weed up in the jar. Sexy Middle Eastern looking ass like I'm Jafar. When it comes to the game, I'm an eagle, you're par. Please don't get to slipping, I'ma catch you off guard. While
Honestly,
you chilling in
both
the
things
crib,
seem
got
true
your
at
chick
once.
in my car.
Institutional
Every time you
accountability
hear it
looks like it's
tripping,
getting
that shit
worse.
sounds bizarre.
Trust keeps dropping.
Your favorite
And I
rapper
don't
try
see signs
hard,
that
still
people at
isn't
the very
art.
top are about to start
Feel like
confessing
the fuel
wrongdoing
to the
anytime
game,
soon.
watch it sparks.
But
My
individual
lines
awareness
burn like
genuinely
ones
does
getting
look like it's
smoked in the
rising.
dark. Hella
Those
cook
poll
your
numbers we
shit
just
up
pulled,
if your ass
people
wanna
noticing the
spar.
double standard.
Barbecue your
That itself
beef
is a
up
form
like
of waking
seats in my
up,
car.
even without
Cool
the top
yourself
ever
up
changing.
refrigerator
So my honest
jar.
review,
Baby
the
rappers
top
do not
fucking
got
won't
like
fix
this,
itself.
not an art.
But bottom-up accountability,
You
people
forgot
like you calling it
about
out
that
loud,
part.
publicly,
Rappers
consistently,
acting like
that's
this
the
is
actual
not an art.